the heck did Rosalind mean when she said, start a conversation with, I wonder, or what if? So I got that question. What did I mean when I said that that could be helpful? And could I give some examples? And I truly love to hear from you and hear more of what you're interested in, so that this can be truly a conversation, these Thursday musings. So, what if, and I wonder, can be used by anyone. So it doesn't need to be solving a problem. But the way I have seen it as almost a treatment in the sense of a protocol for someone who tends to be quiet, who tends to be a peacemaker, who tends to not share because they think it's safer and it'll go better, especially when they're with a stronger person. So let's start with what I said. It could be used by anyone. So I am not one of those people who tends to shy away from a conversation. But instead of just sharing my point of view, how would it sound if you said, I think that we should use buttermilk in the muffins because it'll have a crunchy top? And if I just said, yeah, that's true, but so-and-so doesn't like crunchy tops. If I just say my statement, no matter what the person said, you said, and then I just say my statement, it then is going to depend on your being able to hear me in the tone and the understanding that I meant it. I didn't mean it in an adversarial way. It was just sharing my opinion. But what if I said, instead of just saying the person doesn't like buttermilk in or crunchy tops in their on their muffin, I'm purposely using just a regular conversation, not something that's the height of intensity. But that would apply as well. It's just that those situations are so personal and specific. I'm trying to get across just the feeling tone that if I and you, no matter what your personality, and even if you don't need a new protocol for sharing, what if we use the expression more? What if, and I wonder. So the reason they are used very often in, what's the name of that? What I want to say, in Quaker, couldn't think of that word. The reason they're used often in Quaker meetings is because there's a sense of spaciousness. If I say, I wonder, that means I don't know for sure, and it leaves space for you. If I say, what if, it leaves space for imagination. We can both consider, what if we made these muffins in this way, or we made half the way X likes them and half the way this other person likes them. You see, it leaves room, it leaves space. There's a sense of creativity. There's a sense of shared possibility. It's softer. Can you feel that? If even in the muffin case, if I don't just answer, but I say, I wonder, or what if, it gives you the signal. This is the important part for people who are looking for ways to share their sensitive point of view and they're afraid of conflict. If you're talking to someone and maybe even you've warned them, let's say it's a close relationship, and the person, most strong people want to hear from the person who's not sharing, because here's the secret. By not sharing, you're still sharing. The strong people know you're hiding, you're not revealing. Sometimes it even seems hostile and closed off, and it's not nothing. People who decide not to speak continue to believe that they're doing the friendlier thing, but often they're not. So because the other person wants to connect and wants to share and wants you to trust them and be in conversation. So I'm not talking about abusive people. That's a different story. We'd have to have a different conversation. But I'm talking about someone that you're in a relatively healthy relationship. It's not perfect, but there could be more exchange, more give and take. And even for your own sake, if you're the quieter person and doesn't share, what if you experimented to see if it was the way you anticipate, the way you imagine if you shared more? I'm all for experimenting. So doesn't that even leave a sense of vulnerability? What if both of you, even as a kind of humorous addition, if both of you in a relationship where you're working on your relationship, you're working on communication and sharing, what if for, let's say, 1 hour or one day or 1 week, you both started with what if or imagine or I wonder or what if, I wonder or what if, I wonder if you could consider another way. It might be scary, but what if you tried it on something small? It might be actually arresting to your partner. It might even be stop them in their tracks so that they listen to you. I know that sometimes people who are prone to not sharing and keeping things to themselves feel that when they share, they're not listened to. But if the expectation and the belief is that you won't be heard, maybe you say it in a way that is going to get the result that you expect. So we know a lot about expectations, but we won't get off track here. So that's a situation that's about a muffin. And so you could say, well, that's easy to talk about a muffin. But what if someone in your mind always raises their voice? Now we're talking about something that's hotter, that's more scary. So what if the person was raising their voice, but you knew it wasn't like they're not going to hurt you, but they're starting to get revved up on the subject. But it's, let's say it's about what you're going to do Saturday night, or a vacation plan, or the weather, or some company, not a 10 on your conflicts where you want to live here and they want to live there. Take something smaller, unless where you live is not a 10 on your conflict scale. Take something that's enough that's raising your partner's voice, probably because he or she wants to be heard by you, and maybe in the past, from his or her background, felt they needed to speak in a louder voice to be heard. Maybe the loudest person in their family is the one who got accommodated to or got their way. So what if they raise their voice and you say, I wonder if you could lower your voice a few decibels so that I could consider what you just said. Everyone wants to be seen and heard. If there's something in it for them, if you're not judging or criticizing them, but you're on the same team of communication, is that something you could do then? What if, and I wonder, can you see how there's just tons of ways you could use that to be closer, to have a more intimate atmosphere, or even to be playful if you both used it. And I think I would like to have a class where everyone started, no matter what, with either one of those phrases. Try it with a friend. Try it with somebody you get along with. Experiment and have fun with it, and experience in a kinesthetic way, not just as an idea in that I'm giving you and you're going to have an idea and maybe it'll go out the window when you're scared. Try it on, make it yours, and please let me know if it's at all useful.